CCTV and the Western Misaki Intermediate School District are proud to present Celebrating Success with your host Dave Cox, Western Misaki ISD Superintendent. Join us monthly as we talk with people making a positive difference in our community.
Hi, welcome to another edition of Celebrating Success. I'm your guest, Dave Cox. This show is super exciting for me. Once a month we get to bring in a super special guest, but more importantly I should say, is the program is actually 100% produced by students in the Digital Media Productions program at the Western-Misaki Career Technical Center. So behind the cameras and in the production room are students. There's also a floor director here telling me what to do and when to do it, kind of thing. So it's super cool, and we're glad. But today our special guest is Doreen Lanc from the Cadillac Area Community Foundation. Doreen, welcome.
Welcome, Dave. Thank you for inviting me.
That's awesome. Thank you.
And great job, students.
Isn't that cool? Yeah, wave at them all. They're all out there. They're quiet. They're doing their job.
Yeah.
I love it. It's pretty cool. So we're just going to talk a bit. Tell us about what you do, Doreen. What is the Cadillac Area Community Foundation
The
all
Community
about?
Foundation, we have donors, and the donors have given money over the years. We are 33 years old, and that money is endowed, and we only spend like 5% interest every year. So we have scholarships, and we have the funds that just take care of health and wellness in the community, or arts and culture, environment funds. So there's all types of funds that we work with.
So when you say endowed, help our viewer understand, somebody wants to give money and explain that process and how it can then be, I guess I know it, but act like I don't. Talk to me a little bit about how that works.
Yes. So if we have a donor that comes to us, we do an agreement with them. We find out what their passions are and exactly where they want the money to go. So the money goes into an endowment. We have very good investors that take very good care of the money. We're good stewards of their money, and it goes into an endowment fund, and then every year we use just the interest. Now sometimes, we've been up to 18% for the full year, and that's how that endowment grows, but we only spend 5% of it.
Okay. So what does a person spend it on? When they come to you, they give you, let's say I've got an inheritance, but I want to give some money back into the community, into the foundation. What does the money go then as far as the percent of interest that they could be?
Yeah, well, we sit and talk to them to make sure what their passions are.
Okay.
Some people have a passion for youth. Some of them, it's senior citizens. The Imagination Library is huge. So we make sure that we have all that down in the paperwork so we know where their passion is to spend the money. And then, on $1 million, it's probably $250,000 a year that we can spend.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
You mentioned the Imagination Library. Maybe our viewers don't know exactly what that is, because that's exciting stuff as well.
Yes, the Imagination Library was started just over 10 years ago by some donors in Cadillac, and it is a book program from the Dolly Parton Foundation. And it is books for 0 to 5 years old. So when they start school, they call that graduation, so they get a graduation book. The books are all written age appropriate for the kids. We have, I just got the bill yesterday for February, and we have 1,748 kids in the program in the Western Misaki ISD School District.
In all the 7 schools that are part of that.
Yes.
Wow. And so you're telling me that a student or a child, a parent, can get these books for their children.
Yes.
From birth to 5 years old at no cost to them.
Yes. This
because
is
of you
all
and the community.
done by donation. This is 100% donated program.
That's awesome. And there's no minimum or maximum. If somebody wants $100, they could give it to the foundation. That would go toward that.
Yeah, and we advertise quite a bit about it costs $25 a year for a child to get a book for the full year, 12 books. So that's not very much, $25,
No.
and these kids love it. These little ones, they can't wait till their book comes in the mail.
Yeah.
That's what they're excited about it. And then if they can read or starting to read, this is a good program for them. Otherwise, the books, the mom can read, a sibling could read, grandma, grandpa. A lot of them go to grandma, grandpa's house for them. And then they can sit there, and in the back of the book, it has little questions like, who is the main character? Or who was folding the clothes that helped the mom? So it has little questions to ask the child to see if they're comprehending it.
So at the end, it kind of comes with a little included lesson plan. Read the book, but then talk for that comprehension piece.
Through.
That's excellent. So how can someone sign up for that?
Great Start on the Chamber website. You can get it through Oasis. You can sign up. Great Start, if you Google Great Start, they have a sign-up sheet in there too.
Excellent. So, and you had mentioned, obviously, Imagination Library, and I had mentioned earlier about where we're at, having the Career Tech Center students help do this. I know that we have some scholarships embedded through the Tech Center, through the Community Foundation. Tell us about what those are and how those are obtained.
Yes, there's a Trent Win Scholarship, and it's for the trades. It's probably 6 years old now. It's in the Wexford-Missaukee ISD school district. We also have one in the Holland school district because they moved to Holland. And that one is for anybody that's going to further their education in the trades. That's a good scholarship. It's like $2,000 a year here and $2,000 a year in Holland. We also have a new one this year that I'm really excited about. The Cadillac Area Human Resources had dissolved. They had to put the money somewhere. So they decided to do a fund, and I talked to them, and they wasn't sure what they wanted to do, and I said, let's do a fund for our Career Tech Center for the trades, because you're all in manufacturing, and it all fits into the trades. So that's a new one this year, so I'm excited about it.
Great.
And
how much money is that one going to be?
That one it's $34,000, but that'd be a $1,000 scholarship.
Excellent. Just one at this point?
Yes, one scholarship.
That's excellent. Now that doesn't, obviously this particular program isn't trade related, even though it's a career skill set that certainly some of these students might go into television production or even radio or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
But so are there other ones? I know there are, but I want you to tell me, because it's been a while since I was the Tech Center director. I want to make sure that all that stuff's going, and under your leadership, I'm sure it is.
Yes. We also have one that's a new one this year, of course, again, and it's the Workman Fund of Hope. And it's for the Wexford-Missaukee ISD, so they can use it at the Career Tech Center or any school in the
Within
ISD.
that service area.
Yes.
Yeah.
We have the Ellen Boss one that he gives $3,000 per student after they had been to school one full season and kept their grades up and stuff. And then we have the Finnerty one that we hold, which for the CTC. So we have several scholarships, and we have another new one this year, which this year has been scholarship year. I think we're just getting the word out there that this is such a good program for students, and the cost of universities and trade schools and colleges, people are like, I want to help students be able to get their education. So a new one this year is Great Expectations, and this is for a girl going into a less girl job, more of a skilled trade that they're not really into, like welding or mechanics or the media. So I think this one's very interesting, and it's done by the Women's Giving Circle, and that's a $2,000 scholarship.
Nice. Excellent. That's wonderful. That non-traditional pathway.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm excited about it. I'm excited about
awesome.
reading the essays. We love reading the essays. Students' stories are very interesting, and there's a lot of hardship.
Oh, absolutely.
There's a lot of hardship out there. Absolutely. So it's really honoring to make sure that these kids have some extra money to go to school.
Sure. And in some of those scholarships, they don't necessarily have to apply to college. It's really anything, some of them, not all of them, but some are specifically for college, correct? And others are post-secondary, means they could go to work, an apprenticeship route, or a trade school?
Yes. We have a couple other scholarships that are like, they're for continuing education. So if you want to go be EMS, work in an ambulance or on the EMS field, we can pay for that. I have one right now, the lady wants to become a doula, and it's like $1,000 for this class. So, we're working on that one right now. So it's all kinds of different trades that we're helping people get their stuff, to make sure that they have everything they need to do that trade.
That's excellent. So when you look at the endowment piece of it, depending on, of course, the economy and how the investments are doing, could those scholarship numbers go up based on the intent of the donor? The amount of money, could it go from $1,000 to $1,500 one year? Or do they also go backward, maybe $900? Because maybe
some of them will go back. This year, because the economy has not been that great, they're a little bit less. We have one that was not, it didn't have the funds in it to give a scholarship, but the trustees had decided, you know what, we have given this $2,500 scholarship out, so we're going to do it again this year in their name. So we had transferred money into their account. Usually they stay about the same, but, sometimes they get to be more. Excellent. I mean, the Pell Scholarship, the Harvey and Helen Pell, that's $42,000 that we're giving away. Last year, we gave $138,000 away in scholarships.
Wow. To students in our
To students in our area.
Talk about celebrating success. That's awesome.
Yeah,
So
we oversee the Lake City, the Misaki Area Community
that
Foundation.
was my question,
too.
because I know they got some of the
Yeah,
the
they're
Ellen
under our
boss.
umbrella.
Yes.
Yes, they're a component of ours. So we have a lot of scholarships over there too. So we're working about 25 different scholarships in the spring.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
and more, it's growing. I mean, like 3 new ones this year already.
So if somebody out there received or wants to support your organization, whether it's more scholarships or not, what's the process? What's the conduit to do that?
We have a CAPS alumni scholarship also. So if anybody that wants to support one, they can come in and look at our list of scholarships. And if there's something in there that I definitely want to support this, or they can start their own scholarship. It's a minimum of $35,000, but
That was going to be one of my questions. Is there a minimum?
Yes. Yeah. We actually lowered the minimum this past year just because we had some coming in that quite didn't make the minimum, so we lowered it.
When you say we, is there an overarching board? Or,
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
Okay,
I have a board that I work with. I have 11 trustees. They're wonderful. I hear all the time from foundations about bad boards. We have the best board, and as long as you go in there, you know your facts, you know what you're talking about, and you can explain why you want to do this. They're very supportive.
Wonderful. So when the minimum is that, if you put $35,000, your interest on that might be $100, or you know what I'm saying?
Right.
The more that you put in the endowment, the more the interest is going to be there available to give out the following year.
Yes,
Yeah.
in the last couple years, when a new scholarship comes in, we usually set aside at least $2,000 so we can give 2 $1,000 scholarships or 4 $500 scholarships out for the next 2 years, because it takes time for it to build.
Sure, that's a good point.
So we have set aside money that we do not endow so we can give that scholarship out.
Excellent. You had mentioned Cadillac Schools. I know my son was part of it, and I know that there's a part of the community, the YAC, if you will. Would you explain that a little bit? Maybe tell them what that means? But
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that.
Yeah, part of the foundation is a youth. We have a youth advisory committee, and we call them YAC. There's 31 students, and they have $25,000 a year to give away to youth projects. And we usually have a grant every month. We meet once a month, and we usually have a grant once a month, like the robotics club. Or it could be they want to buy books for a reading club, or something for the school, or they've done money to the White Pine Trail. They give money to the items that they need to redo the football field, to the press box and the sound system and fencing and all that. So they give money towards that too.
So who selects? Is there a process? Does somebody come to them, or is it the students have the money? They have the autonomy to give it out how they see fit, or is there an approval process? Or?
Yes. So I send out the applications like on a Friday. We meet on Monday morning, and that gives them time to look at them. So if they have any questions or anything, when we meet, we go over them, we talk about it, we have a lot of discussion. Actually, they have more discussion than the adult board.
Oh, is that right?
They're very, that's their money. They're very, very careful of how they spend their money, which is really good. They just approved $2,500 for mattresses for Love Inc. for kids that do not have beds. We just did that on Monday.
Awesome. So did Love Inc. come to them then, or did the students?
Yes, yeah. Love Inc., they send in a grant application to us. And sometimes if it's a real difficult grant ask, I usually have somebody come in and talk to the kids and just explain it. Like we did have, the CASA come in and talk to them. We've had the hockey come in and talk to them, the hockey club and stuff like that. Excellent. But anything to do with youth programs, we put it through there, and the kids are really good. They've turned some down, They're like, nope, we don't like this for this and this reason, but normally they're very good about it.
And that's Cadillac Schools, just because of proximity and having your meetings.
And we do it in Misaki County too.
Excellent.
It's a little harder over there because we just have caps.
Yep.
So I can meet with the kids. In Misaki, we do Zoom meetings because we actually have McBain, Northern Christian, and Lake City School students.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so we have Zoom meetings.
Wonderful. Hey, that's what we learned, right, during the pandemic. It works.
Yes.
So tell us what else is going on. What else does the Community Foundation do? This is your chance to Tell your story.
Yeah, well, this morning I was out packing food for USDA at 8 o'clock this morning. It takes us about an hour. We do like 500 boxes or something. And people ask me, why do you do that? Why, you don't have to do that. And it's like, but I find things out. A lot of veterans are out there packing, and I find things out because we have a veterans funds for emergency needs. And
When you say you find things out, you find out the
I
need
find
of
out
things
the
that you otherwise
need.
wouldn't know if you didn't go there.
That's
Yeah.
right. It's like I found out that somebody's heat's shut off right now. And it's like, oh, are they a veteran? It's like, yeah, and it's like, okay,
Let's
we
get
can, we can fix this.
Excellent.
So I like doing that kind of stuff. In this past year, we worked with Walmart. We did Shop with a Hero. We took 100 kids shopping. We had about 85 volunteers, men's giving circle, women's giving circle. We had the police department, the fire department, EMS, and then a lot of leaders in the community. And we went shopping. They each got a $100 gift card, which we wrote a grant for.
That's awesome.
So it was a $10,000 program. And these kids had a little list of things that, to buy something for their siblings or grandma and grandpa or mom and dad. And these kids are picked by the counselor. So, there was kids, it's like, I really need socks. They weren't thinking about toys. They were
Sure.
thinking about the things they
Essential.
really needed. So it was a blast. It was the best chaos I've ever been involved in.
And that was in December-ish?
Yeah, we
the
did it
holiday
December
season?
14th.
Okay.
We did that, and the Grinch was there, and Santa Claus, best Grinch I've ever seen. It was a she, and she was amazing.
Awesome.
And then Santa Claus, and they had hot chocolate, and they shopped, and their name was on a cart, and it was a blast.
That's awesome.
Cadillac leadership, all the leadership people were there.
From the
to help.
chamber.
Yes.
Excellent. Love
Yes.
it. That's a success.
Yeah.
it's
And
all-
then my daughter and I took over Breakfast with Santa about 7 years ago. I think this was our 8th year that we did it. And we raised $33,000 for Imagination Library.
For the books we just talked
For the
about.
books.
Yes.
Yes. So
That'll go a long way. It's a lot of books.
yes, yeah. Well, it's about $40,000 a year program.
Wow.
It's what it costs. But it's like we do a lot of things. I go to about at least 12 meetings a month. But like I said, that's where I find out the needs of the community. We're not sitting there waiting for people to come in our door to say, this is an emergency. I'm out there looking like, how can we help people? How can we help nonprofit organizations? Because the foundation takes care of, we have to give to nonprofit organizations. We don't give to, the only other one is for veterans.
Sure.
And we don't give the money to the veteran, we give it to if it's a car problem
Sure.
or heat or wood or something like that. But so it is nonprofits, and usually in the social service world, there's a lot of nonprofits. So I attend these meetings to hear what's going on, know the environment of what people are going through and how we can help.
That's excellent. So, when you go out there and you hear about that potential need, then do you come back as far as, is there then a board or subcommittees of your board that decides, all right, that's a good need? Or how do you have the autonomy that says, we're doing that?
Yes, the process is, I have taken a lot of just proactive. It's like I, took notes. I know everything about the organization. I know they're 501c3. I know they're good with the IRS, good standing, all that. I will take it to the board and say, I found this out. I'd really like to present them with a check. This is a really good thing that we can do in the community.
That's awesome.
Or I will call them, if it's not an instant need, I will call them and say, do we need to stop?
No,
Okay,
you're good.
sorry.
No, you're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will call them and I will tell them, hey, we have this grant available. I'm going to send you the paperwork and the application. Fill it out. If you have any questions, just let me know.
That's wonderful. So going back to the donation piece of it, so when you give that money and when it's endowed, does it all go into a big pot to generate as much money of that interest as possible so that you can do these things, not only the things that are set up, but the things that pop up?
Yes.
Okay.
We have money available all
Like
the time.
emergency,
Yes,
for the lack
we
of a
have
better
money
word.
available. When COVID hit, the first thing we did within days of after March 1st, the first thing we did is put $25,000 in Missaukee County at Community Hope, and we put $25,000 in Wexford County with Love Inc. because they can help people with housing, clothing, food, heat a lot quicker than we can. So, and we can't give to people. So
Sure.
they took care of those needs to make sure everybody was taken care of.
That's excellent.
Yeah,
So-
and we have two different investors when it comes to that.
Okay.
And we have kind of money so we can watch, see which one's doing better and stuff like that as far as investing. But it's all split up into all different kind of funds, technology, and
So when you say investors, though, you're saying people that do that for a living.
They do
They'll
that
tell you,
for
hey, we need to
us.
move this here, move
Yeah.
that there, watch the stocks,
Yes,
all that stuff.
Yes, I learned more about investing in the
bet
last
you
5
did.
years than I ever want to ever know
I
again.
bet you did. I bet you did. I think going back to the uniqueness of it is if I wanted to give money, you can really work around my passion or where I want it to go.
Yes,
Right?
yes.
Versus it's just going in, which some people do both.
Yes,
Right?
actually, I had some sisters came to me. Their brother had passed away, and he loved cabaret and he golfed and he loved kids. So we did a golf outing and we raised a bunch of money. And what it is we're going to help kids that would normally not ever get to go to cabaret to learn how to ski. We're going to do ski scholarships.
That's excellent.
Yeah,
That's
and
absolutely
I'm really excited about it because it was his passion, and there's going to be
Carrying it forward,
Yeah,
yeah.
and there's kids in the school that they just don't have the money to go do
Mm-hmm.
that. So we're going to award these scholarships. So it's pretty exciting.
That's awesome. Excellent. What else?
Oh my gosh, I am
mean, there's-
busy every day. Every day,
Talk
it's
about,
a new thing.
Share what's going on.
Right now, big issues: housing,
Oh, yeah. Always.
childcare.
Can you fix those, please?
Well, we're working on it.
Sure.
I have a meeting tomorrow morning, and childcare, we're always talking about it. We just have to find the right people to, take it forward.
Yeah.
We've looked at sites for a childcare facility. It's hard. It's
is.
really hard right
is.
now.
And people that, and I've been privy to a lot of that because I'm also in Manistee and the Housing North.
Right.
And obviously with our early childhood and the lack of daycare to be able to, it's definitely a problem. And you're right, and there's a lot of conduit, but there's a money issue and it's getting the right people together and the relationships. And that's what I've really found out with your organization, yourself included obviously, is that relationship, that connection piece, which
Oh,
is,
yeah.
you didn't know until you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's just kudos to you for your leadership.
Yeah,
in
we
the
need
organization.
to get the right people at the table and make some decisions and take this forward.
Absolutely.
And that's what we're working on right now, because right now it's
So that's
like,
a hot iron right now.
it
market.
is
Yep.
right now. It's like there's a group here working on it, a group here working on it, a group here, and these groups need to come together and all be talking about the same thing. There's no use me doing things and then somebody else doing it too. So we need to get that. We need to collaborate and connect the dots and try to figure out where to go.
Where to go? So housing, daycare, is broadband anything that's on your?
Broadband's huge.
Yeah.
Actually, there's a luncheon
Tomorrow, I'll see you
the
there.
Chamber's doing
Yeah.
on it. That's a huge thing. I was surprised when I was talking to somebody one day. They said, I'll stop and pick it up, and my internet's still dial-up. It's like, oh, yeah, I didn't even know that was such a thing anymore.
I didn't either. Remember that sound it used to
That's
make?
like not having a
It
cell
was-
phone.
Yeah, it was not good. Not good. So let's take a little, what is the favorite part? What is the thing you like most about your
Oh,
job?
handing out checks.
Yeah, I bet that's
When
pretty
they
cool.
least expect it.
So they don't even know it's coming, yeah.
But after a board meeting, that's the first thing I do is call and say, yes, it was approved. There'll be a check in the mail. I'm gonna send you the
awesome.
paperwork.
Making
they're
people's
always
days,
so,
aren't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're always so humble and grateful and thankful, and those are the things I really like.
That's awesome. Do you have, as far as do you have a staff team to help you? Because it seems like
Yep,
it's a pretty big job.
Yes,
you know?
I have an assistant, and she does a lot of running, picking up things, and we actually get a delivery every week from a retail of just stuff that people left behind. And we've taken boxes of new socks, clothes, deodorant, shampoo out to CTC for their closet.
Yeah, for the student closet.
And we deliver it all over
Thank
to
you.
Oasis and the Council on Aging and Club Cadillac. And that's really exciting too, because they're always so grateful to have this
Excellent,
stuff.
excellent. That people connection is just
Yeah.
wonderful, and
So
I can't thank
we
you
do a
enough.
lot of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and you're going to continue to do it, right? I love it. I love it.
yes, yeah.
Thank you, Doreen, for joining us today. It's
Thank
been
you.
absolutely wonderful. Learned a lot. We could probably continue to talk for another
Oh,
hour
yeah,
or
I
two.
can talk about the foundation for weeks.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Well, that's the latest edition of Celebrating Success with our special guest, Doreen Lanc. So until next time, take care.
you.